These are the episodes of regular show that prove that Rigby is actually the main character. Mordecai may seem like a visible main character for someone who starts the series, but when you go from the beginning to the end of the story, it actually turns out to be a character who does not add much to himself in the audience, more disciplined and a little bit in love than Rigby. Rigby is a raccoon who aims to hang out freely without courageous rules most of the time, although he has to work, can't do things well. Now, if we look at the two characters in general, we can say that Rigby is the more attractive character for a cartoon because he is the one who initiates the events. Rigby, unlike Mordecai, is the character who makes you feel that he manages the series more and complicates the stasis. Let's take a look at what Rigby has contributed to us in this development, and even how realistic what we say is. Let's examine Rigby's development in the series. First of all, the first episode that we recognize Rigby with different emotions and makes us feel different. In the series starts in episode 10 of season 1. As the name suggests, the character Dawn comes to the park for help. Dawn is hardworking and communicates well with people, and although they are brothers, they are much different from Rigby. So let's see if the characters in the park will care more about Dawn than Rigby, and whether Rigby will not like it. In fact, we are not really wrong in our predictions. Dawn does not want to work in the park because he is not wanted by Rigby, and then these two come together because of this disagreement between them. Rigby explains to him why he has treated him as a superior person for years. Dansa explains to Rigby that she accepted Rigby as a role model from a young age and tried to be like him. In this way, they both talk and break the ice, and Dawn now feels better and is ready to help in the park. We then turn to Ribgin's biography. Here he dreams of the unfinished moments in which he feels worthless, and there he sees Rigby hugging Dawn. After the first episode of Rigby, which we felt as the main role in the story, it was presented to us in the third episode of season 7, which is even more striking, called the Lanch Club episode. This episode is so crazy that Rigby is so irresponsible that he ruins a cake worth 1 million. Pops' father, who witnessed this situation, naturally gets very angry and locks both Benson and Rigby in the room. After getting mad at Rigby for ruining the cake, he gets mad at Benson for not being able to control Rigby. By the way, for those who don't know, Pops' father is the original owner of Regular Show Park. He must be so pissed off that he tells them that one of them has to quit by 5 o'clock. They are threatened that if they don't decide between them who will quit, they will both be fired. As the clock starts ticking, Benson starts to argue with Rigby. Angry as always, and although the argument between them continues for a while as time progresses, we observe that the two are pouring their hearts out to each other in harmony. When Rigby talks to Benson about an event he experienced in the past, Dawn is almost twice the size of Rigby. Whether it is because of this reason or because of Rigby's laziness, he talks about how Rigby's father always found him inadequate and was cruel to Rigby by keeping his brother on top. Benson can't stand it either and shares the dramatic moments of her life with Rigby. After all this, two are able to establish a closer bond. In fact, while listening to this dialogue, we observe that Rigby has become a more mature character, learns from his mistakes, and thinks more maturely than before. The two get along so well that at the end of the episode, Rigby mentions that he will resign and take on different responsibilities, while Benson says that he will resign because he doesn't want Rigby to be unemployed. Finally, Pops' father shows up at 5 o'clock and forgives them both, and they finally don't have to resign. In this way, they both realize in this episode how valuable it is to talk and find solutions, or to commiserate like a friend. We see that Rigby's character development starts to develop even more when he starts dating Eileen. In the episode The Eileen Plan, Rigby reads an essay Eileen wrote in 6th grade. In it, she mentions that Eileen wants to marry someone smart when she grows up. Seeing this, Rigby starts to feel sad inside and makes us feel this emotion mixed with sadness and love. Not only that, since he is a high school dropout, returns to school to complete the unfinished work and does his best to look like an intelligent person in Eileen's eyes by giving the lessons he has left. Although he does this secretly from Eileen, who learns this, says that she loves Rigby as he is. In the following episodes, we continue to watch Rigby's graduation stages. In the episode where Rigby goes to the prom with Eileen, we witness how many problems between Rigby and his father. Rigby asks his father for the car to go to the prom, but gets an unexpected reaction. His father, who still sees Rigby as a child, tells him to go to his room and scolds him. Mothers are kind-hearted that Rigby's mother gives Rigby the keys to the car without his father's knowledge. And he goes to the ball with Eileen. When his father finds out that he secretly took the keys and went to the ball, he looks for Rigby, and after finding him, he humiliates him and puts them both in the car. On the road, the father must be so angry with Rigby that he loses focus and the car falls down the mountain. Rigby suddenly jumps behind the wheel and saves both his father and Eileen's life. Later, his father apologizes to Rigby for being too hard on him and realizes that he has grown grown up and tells him that he will drive the car whenever he wants. In the episodes of the series so far, we have seen Rigby's efforts to complete incomplete and unfinished feelings and thoughts within himself. Rigby, who is now more at peace with himself, both adds value to himself and strengthens his relationships with his environment. When Rigby's graduation day finally arrives, it is clear that Mordecai is jealous of Rigby. Even though he has seemed like the superior character since the beginning of the series, in this episode he realizes how incomplete he is compared to Rigby, that he has not followed any ways to improve himself, and that Rigby is actually superior to Mordecai by completing every missing aspect like a puzzle. He can't hold this jealousy in any longer and confesses to Rigby, and Rigby forgives him. At the beginning of the series, Rigby is often the jealous party, while at the end of the series we see him as the forgiving party. This tells us how the character develops himself over time. Then we listen to Rigby's graduation speech, where Rigby talks about how he changed his personality over time and how he improved himself. This clearly reflects the fact that Rigby is the main character. At first he starts to make this change for Eileen, but that day he realizes that he has done a lot for himself. When we watch the last season of the series, there is a huge difference between this character and the Rigby we know at first. Rigby, who is selfish, lazy, and uncaring at first, turns into a hardworking, self-confident, and respectable character in the last season. Rigby, with the development he has gone through, gives us good lessons in the series for us to learn from, while comfortably expressing that he is the main character. As we mentioned in the video, Mordecai may seem like an obvious main character to someone starting the series, but following Rigby's inner journey step by step from the beginning to the end of the story gives us a better sense of who the main character actually is. Rigby's development, with all its shortcomings and mistakes, allows us to feel a real empathy for him. It is fascinating to see how Rigby's character's initial selfishness, laziness, and recklessness transforms into a mature sense of leadership, self-confidence, and responsibility. His efforts to improve himself illustrate the central theme of the series and the important lessons for viewers. Mordecai's calmer and more rational demeanor is often spent reacting to the craziness of the show's other characters. He is often a character who strives to be mature and more responsible. However, it is Rigby who is the real main character. Even side characters like Benson, Pops, Muscle Man interact more with Rigby's actions and contribute more to the story. Rigby's wrong choices and the trouble Mordecai gets into trying to fix him are the main elements that drive the series. Mordecai, as part of this flow, is often a figure who intervenes and tries to do the right thing alongside Rigby. So, in a way, Rigby is the real main character of regular show. Mordecai often remains a figure who follows the events, reacts to the action, but does not direct the show. This makes the show unique because in classic animated series, the main character is usually at the center of everything. In regular show, Mordecai is mostly in the shadows, and Rigby is the one who drives the story forward. What are your thoughts? What does Rigby's transformation mean to you? Do you think Rigby is really the main character of the show? Share your thoughts on this in the comments, because this discussion is really interesting. Which episode or moment shows Rigby's biggest transformation for you? I look forward to your comments. If you want to watch more of these in-depth analysis videos, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You can also share it with your friends to help more people discover this tremendous character development. In the next video, maybe I'll be back with another character analysis. Until then, discover the small adventures of life like on regular show. And remember, sometimes the biggest heroes are born from the smallest beginnings. Take care and goodbye.